Meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Gainesville City Commission with one item on the agenda. Excuse me. And that is to award of the low income housing tax credit project. And so is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Santos, second by Commissioner Simmons.
So moved.
Any members of the public wish to speak to the motion to adopt the agenda?
I don't see anybody right here right now, Mr. Mayor. You are free to move forward.
Okay, Madam Clerk, vote. Madam Clerk, if we can move to a vote on the motion to adopt the agenda. Okay, I'm going to call the vote. Commissioner Sacco?
Aye.
Commissioner Ariola?
Aye.
Commissioner Santos?
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward? Absent. Mayor? Aye. That motion passes 6-0 with Ward absent. Okay, Mr. Feldman, am I turning it over to you? Who am I going to here to start this off?
I will hand it right off to John Wachtel. Ms. Wachtel will walk you through this process.
Hello, I'm John Wachtel.
Welcome, Mr. Wachtel.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to share the screen real quick, if I can. This is it. Bear with me.
There is no try. You do or you do not.
All right. I'm the neighborhood planning coordinator in the Housing and Community Development Division. It's coming now. There we go. And I'm excited to talk to you about a proposed about this project. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. When we talk about affordable housing, we often talk about how it's an issue that local government lacks funds and that we have to kind of get out of our silos. We have to coordinate with the private sector. You know, private sector participation is needed, and we're kind of excited because this is an opportunity to coordinate federal, state, and city programs and funds with private sector funds. In other words, it's an opportunity where we can leverage city funds to obtain federal funds that can result in significant private investment in affordable housing. And this is not new. This is actually done before. And I can share with you a couple of real quick examples of how where this has worked. There's Arbors at Tumbling Creek on Southwest, 64 units. It's 100% leased, 100% affordable. The city investment in this project was $46,000. The total project cost was $13.3 million. Another one is the Deer Creek Senior Housing Project. It's near the Senior Rec Center in Northwest Gainesville. It's scheduled to break ground in 2020. It's 62 units. They're 100% affordable. The city investment in this project is going to be a little more than $469,000. It's going to be a loan so it can get paid back, but the total project cost is $14.6 million. So the federal part of this partnership is the low-income housing tax credit program. It's a federal affordable housing program, but it's administered by the state, and the state coordinates it with the city. So the state has made it known that they have some goals for medium-sized cities, or for cities in medium-sized counties like Alachua County. They're going to fund 9 to 11 total projects in this area. One's going to be a local revitalization initiative. 2 are going to be this specially mapped area called Geographic Area of Opportunity. One's going to be near the Sunrail transit project on the West Coast, and 1 or 2 of whatever the next highest scoring projects they get. But they're going to do 5 in this special goal called Local Government Area of Opportunity. And what this local government area of opportunity is, it incentivizes a city financial commitment to the project, or what a lot of folks call is a local preference. The local government has to pick one. So the state says the minimum local contribution is $460,000, and it can be a loan or a grant. In this case, we're going to recommend that it be a loan, so that it gets paid back and money can be reinvested in affordable housing. So because it's $460,000, there's going to be fewer counties and fewer cities that are going to participate. There'll be overall fewer applicants. The bottom line is it's going to be better odds for the applicant, and by extension, better odds to be chosen by the state for the city. But the state requires that the city pick one and only one to send up to them as their local preference. The state's going to pick 5 throughout the whole state, but no more than 1 per county. So the city part of this partnership is the Connect Free program. Connect Free program is a city commission initiative that raises revenue from a surtax on new connections to water and sewer through GRU in the unincorporated area. It's primarily to subsidize new connections, but it does allow a portion for affordable housing, including the local government contribution for tax credit projects, and there is sufficient funding reserved and budgeted for this program. So what's happened so far is the city published a notice of funding availability in August. We received 6 projects, 6 applications in September for this funding. The Affordable Housing Advisory Committee met twice in October to evaluate and rank the projects. Today, we hope the City Commission will choose one project. The applications are due to the state in early November, and the state will make a funding decision probably in February, maybe in January. Once the state has picked their 9 to 11 projects, those projects will have to go through a year or 2 immediately, but it moves the ball forward. So today what we'd like you to do is hear the recommendation of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. The chair of the committee is here to present the recommendation, and then you can, if you would like, you can hear the presentations from each of the projects. That's up to you if you want to do that. Then go through your discussion and make a funding decision. So just with that, staff would recommend that you hear the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee's recommendation, hear presentations from the applicants, and choose to fund one project, and then authorize the city manager to execute the documents to implement that project subject to city commission approval. And with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have about the programs or the process, if you have any. And if not, I'll introduce the chair of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Hi,
Raquel.
my name's Eric McCarthy. I'm the chair of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, and I'm here today to present the local government area of opportunity funding a recommendation. The low-income housing tax credit program is an important tool that the federal government uses to promote the development of affordable housing. In the state of Florida, Florida Housing Finance Corporation, which is essentially a state agency, administers the low-income housing tax credit program. One of the state's goals for the low-income housing tax credit program in minimum-sized counties like Alachua County is to fund projects that have a commitment from their local government for a significant financial contribution. That contribution is known as the local government area of opportunity. Now, on August 21st, 2020, the city published a notice of funding availability for affordable rental housing projects, including low-income housing tax credit. The developers of 6 proposed projects responded. Each of these projects is a low-income housing tax credit project requesting local government area opportunity funding. On October 6th, the City Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, we heard all the presentations, all 6 presentations from the developers of these projects. At that meeting and the October 13th meeting, the AHAC reviewed, considered, and discussed each project. Among the factors considered when evaluating each project were as follows. We looked at the loan amount or the loan term, the number of units provided, the resident income mix, number of units provided for persons with special needs, locations of the project, nearby amenities and services, on-site amenities, and resident services, compatibility with the surrounding areas, experience of the developers, and overall feasibility of the project. Now, based on the applications and presentations, AHAC believed that each of the proposals would bring at least some benefit to the community. However, AHAC also believed that there are some important differences in the projects. For that reason, at the October 13th meeting, the committee voted and ranked the proposed projects in the following order. Number one, the Woodland Park Phase 2 project would have 96 units. It's a 15-year loan, 30-year amortization at 1% interest. The entire balance, including principal, should be paid in full at the end of the 15-year period. The second choice was the Crest Grove Apartments. That will be 108 units, a 15-year loan at 100% interest. The third was Madison Pines. That was 80 units, a 22-year loan at 4.75 interest. The fourth one was Madison Moore, and that was 86 units for a 22-year loan at 4.75% interest. The fifth one was Village Estates. That was at 96 units, and that was at 15.5-year loan at 3% interest. For the entire balance, including principal, shall be paid in full at the end of 15.5-year period. The Michaels Foundation, there was no one provided for that meeting. The local government area opportunity funding benefits the city of Gainesville in several ways. First, the funding leverages local funds to bring in millions of dollars of private and federal investment. Additionally, funding furthers the city's goal of supporting and developing of affordable housing within the community. For these reasons, the AHAC voted and recommended that the City Commission uses connect-free revenues to fund the $460,000 loan under the terms outlined above to the Gainesville Housing Authority for their Woodland Park Phase 2 application for low-income housing tax credit. And we respectfully and sincerely request that you consider this funding recommendation.
All right, Mr. McClarty, thank you very much. And thank you. Please extend our gratitude to the entire committee for all of your work. We really do. We don't get to see you very often. So please let them know we truly appreciate all the hard work you do.
Okay, will do.
I have a question, but let me go to Commissioner Ward first. And Mr. Wachtel, can you take down your screen share, please? That'd be helpful to me. Commissioner Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Marion. Thank you to the committee for your work. I appreciate that. I know it's a lot of work for you all to go through those applications. Thank you, Mr. Wachtel, for getting through the process. My question is, what's left in the Connect Free Fund after we fund this?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, we are putting together the budget for the Connect Free Fund. After we fund this, we still have funds set aside for our waiting list for connections and for some additional affordable housing projects. We're going to get, we anticipate, well, we've had applications for smaller local government contributions for affordable housing. So both connections for single family, for our single lot connections, and for affordable housing projects.
Okay, that's great. Mr. Manager, if you would just help coordinate getting that back to me at some point. I don't need it tonight, but thank you.
So, Commissioner, I could probably also tell you that there's about, because we looked at this the other day, I was going to say there's a little over $250,000 of non-programmed funds that are in there. And I'm working with staff on a plan that will use a significant portion of that for an affordable housing project. So we're working on, we don't want to leave dollars untapped when they can be used.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Feldman. Commissioner Ariola.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to thank the committee and thank all the applicants. Every year, this is always, it's always great to hear from the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. Looking at the full rankings, it looks like there was consensus for the ranking. And so I'd like to move the full three-part recommendation, Mr. Mayor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Simmons, moved by Ariola. Commissioner A. Santos.
Forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
Thank you. I have a question, I guess, for Mr. Clatchy. There seemed to be some pretty, to me, when I looked at this, there seemed to be three proposals that seemed pretty close. The Village Estates, the Woodland Park, and the Crest Grove. They all had a significant number of units, 96 for two of them, and then Crest Grove had 108. You know, they all had access to public transit, nearby shopping, you know, good amenities. The mix of housing, the sort of very low versus low income mix, was a little bit different between those three. And so I'm just wondering what, you know, what seemed to be some pretty close proposals. What led the committee to endorse the Woodland Park as the top priority over what seemed to be two other pretty close seconds and thirds?
One of the things we liked about the Woodland Park is that they already own the property. And the three that we chose for the first, second, and third, their flexibility and what was proposed in their project. We were concerned about some issues that it didn't seem like there was enough activities for kids that were just, or the teens that may be in the area. And so we wanted just more than just a sitting area and more than just a car wash parking lot kind of activities for the community. I know one of the communities were geared towards seniors, and it seems like there was just not enough to provide viability, because now, you know, when you're 50, I mean, I'm 50, seems like 50 years old is a little different than it was back in the day. So just their flexibility was our top priority for us.
Okay, thank you very much. That's helpful. Commissioner Simmons?
Thank you, Mayor. And if I could add something, I also sat on the committee. It was really nice. Everyone worked really hard. And I think if I could shed some light to some of the reasonings that we chose the way we did. And for one, with Woodland Park, what really did it for me was they have a 16% charter fee. And so what that means is that money, that percentage has to go back into public housing or affordable housing. And I think that it's ongoing. And so the partner, and I think Malcolm Kiner is on the line, when he explained that to us, that was what it really to me, it just felt like, in addition to Woodland Park being their own owners, And let me back up real quick. What you see is a revision of what the original proposals was, because prior to this revision, it was not as close as this. It was everywhere. Everybody was all over the place. And so what we did is we met a second time as a committee, asking the potential winners to go back and answer some of the questions that we had asked, and just look at the numbers a little closely. And Woodland Park, initially the numbers was not how they look now. And so they really made a commitment to pay back the loan in 15 years versus whatever the original time was. So you could see the significant difference from the first to now. And so that allowed me, from my standpoint, to see who was really committed. And also with Crest Grove, that development is potentially across from the Waldo Road, the Walmart on Waldo Road, that empty lot. And so for me, it was like, what would be best utilized for that space? Do we want affordable housing, or what about a mixed use? What about retail space? Something to play off of that Walmart, the super center. So just being creative. And I think some of the presentations for me was pretty much, okay, let's do a big building, let's just sit it down in this location. It just wasn't a lot of creativity on how we can really look at the city of Gainesville and how can we be an asset in addition to providing affordable homes, but what can we really do to leverage the location and really think outside of the box and be creative. And so for me personally, I was looking at those type of attributes. Do we just want to put a big building somewhere with limited activities or quality of life activities? Did you consider connecting a trail on a Hawthorne Road? What other things could you have done and really reach into the community and make it such an asset in a viable place to be? And so I was really wanting more. And that's just me, because I think we're now in a place within our city and our community that we want more. We want to maximize whatever possibilities are out there. And how can those developers or those potential clients, how can they be more creative and reach to the soul of the community? So, that was my first time on that committee. And I don't know if I scared my members away, but I just had just a real, a high expectation. But they were all great. And for me, I just looked at the numbers. Some of the numbers just wasn't there. And once the potential winners went back and redid the numbers, it just was a great process. But I think overall, I wanted something that was going to be impactful, transformational, creative, viable, and just all of those good things. So the team did a great job.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Simmons. And I recently had a chance to go out and check out some of the different units at the Sweetwater project out at Woodland Park. And it's a phenomenal facility. I mean, it is gorgeous. It's very community oriented. And I have complete confidence in them and, what they will do if this is ultimately approved by the state. It's helpful what I just heard from both of you, because on paper they look very close, and in one case we were getting about another dozen units out of it, but there's other factors to include as well, and those wraparound services are so critical to a successful development. So, and I met the developers, and they know what they're doing. They've done this all around the state. and are anxious to do another project. And so that bodes well as well. Okay, well, we do have a motion to approve the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee's recommendation. And the next step, if this is approved, will be sent off to the state to compete with other proposals, and hopefully it prevails against the competition there. So with that, Adam, I will turn it over to you to ask our members of the public to share thoughts with us.
I actually think I'm going to turn it right back to you because we have nobody who's looking to speak on this issue.
Okay, then I'll recognize Commissioner Santos.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I remember my question. So if the state doesn't award the money to this project, does the loan still go through, or does that money go back? What happens if the state doesn't award?
The award is contingent upon state approval and that the project getting built. So it's going to be on a reimbursement basis. So
okay.
If the state doesn't
approve it, then it just goes back to our account and we have to put it on, we'll spend the money in some other way. Is that correct?
It goes back into the Connect Free program for connections and affordable housing. And hopefully we'll get more applications next year.
And when does the state make the decision? You know?
The state right now is saying they're going to do it in late January, according to their schedule. To me, that means maybe in February.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Well, Madam Clerk, we got a motion on the floor. Let's go ahead and move to a vote.
Commissioner Sacco?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward?
Aye.
Commissioner Ariola?
Aye.
Commissioner Hayes Santos?
Aye.
Mayor Poe?
Aye, that motion passes unanimously. Congratulations to the Gainesville Housing Authority. Good luck at the next step. We'll be rooting for you to be sure, and almost expect you to come back with great news since we're on a bit of a streak here. Thanks all for a tough meeting. I appreciate you all putting in the work. Thanks to staff and all of our community for joining and being with us as well. We will now adjourn this meeting. Oh, one thing I wanted to say, we do not have a city commission meeting next week, but we are preparing for Halloween and want to really encourage people to look at the CDC guidelines for what constitutes safe and unsafe activities on Halloween. There's a lot of things that we can do that are very safe, and then some that are slightly risky, and then many that are very, very risky. And it's important that we understand the differences and keep our community safe on that night that so many of us, especially with young ones, look forward to. And so the city's been putting out information on that, but you can also find it by going to the CDC's website. And with that, y'all, we are adjourned. Go get some dinner.
Ooh.